Hi all, this is the final session of Azure DevOps Deep Dive. In the previous sessions, we go through the properties, we go through, explore that Azure DevOps, and we have created one CI/CD pipeline with the help of the YAML file, and we mainly mainly tried out how an application can be deployed with the help of different stages. We created a YAML pipeline with mainly two stages. One is build stage and another is deploy stage. So in the build stage, we just integrated few things, and in the deploy stage, we consumed that one artifact which is generated, and then we deployed it to an Azure web app. Today, we will be mostly diving into the some more things in the sense, yeah, we already discussed about how we provision an app service, how we created a build pipeline using YAML, what's the structure of that YAML file, like stages, steps, and tasks and all. Also, we discussed about the triggers as well, and also we have covered how we can publish an artifact. So now we will be mainly working on automating the deployment with the help of release pipelines. Okay, that's a different kind of pipeline that we will cover today. So we can leverage it on a multi-stage release pipeline. So mostly whenever you are working on in organization, or mostly you will be dealing with the multi-stage pipelines actually. So we'll be dealing on that. Also, regarding continuous deployment triggers, we'll be working on that. And we just mentioned what was a deployment slot in the last session. So we'll be covering something on that, and we will try to explore one approach, which is a blue-green deployment. We'll come to that. Then there is something called a deployment gate. Deployment gate is something related to what we can say. Yeah, it's kind of approvals or the quality checks that they did before a deployment, like that. And finally, an end-to-end CICD automated pipeline process with the help of build and release pipeline. Okay, so that was the main agenda for today. Without any delay, I'll be starting into those project Azure DevOps. I hope my screen is visible. So yeah, great. So let me go to the project clone YT. That is what we are working on, and I'll just show you. Yeah, we have two app services in place. Today we will be mostly working on Guruschools. Azure Guruschools, I have updated it, so I can show you what is the difference. Okay, so today we will be working on Guruschools app service. Okay, you can see that it's stopped straight. So I'll do one thing. Let me start it. I'm checking whether it has some deployment slot. Okay, there is no deployment slot or something is over there. No issues. I'm just starting it for now, and we'll see how it's being configured. And when it comes to the project, you can see that when we go to the pipeline, see, you can see that there is only one tick. There is not two ticks. Okay, so we'll come to that actually. So this is the project that I personally worked on, and today we will be working on YT clone, which is like the same project that we have already did in the last session. Okay. So in this project, if you see here, pipelines, we have IT clone pipeline available. And if you see exactly the pipeline that we did on the last session, right? With the trigger as main branch, and also it has build and deploy stages. So the same one. This is fine.
So earlier we used to have only one project, right?
Yeah, actually in my organization, I do have two projects. Okay. We in the last session, like what I'm doing is like I'm doing change in one project. Okay. And I'll show you how to change it in another project. That's it.
Okay.
So one of the project is I used it to test it, and the next one I'll use it to show it how it's like that.
Okay.
Okay. So here we have clone YT, no? So in clone YT, we do have a different kind of setup. Let it be like that. So mainly we will be focusing on YT clone here. Okay, that's why I said we will be mainly concentrating on Guruschools subsidiaries, not on AZ Guruschools. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, we have two now. So we will be mainly concentrating on Guruschools, not on AZ Guruschools. Okay.
Yeah, the AZ Guruschools was the one which we worked on last week, right?
Yeah, last one. Yeah, that's what I have said. AZ Guruschools is deployed from clone YT. Okay.
Yes.
And Guruschools is deployed with the help of YT clone.
YT clone.
Okay. And I tested the changes and all in already in AZ Guruschools. Okay. So
Okay.
which means this project that clone YT is already updated.
Yes.
Okay. So we need to update, like we need to explore what all capabilities that we can leverage on this project, that we will explore with the help in this project.
Okay.
You get that? We are just,
yes, sir. Yes.
both are actually similar projects. Okay. We are just testing out. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll be looking into Guruschools as well as we'll be into active. Okay, make sure that this is serving here. Okay. Okay. So normally what we have here, basically we had a pipelines available. In that pipeline, let me edit it. In this pipeline, basically this is a YAML pipeline, and we do have two stages here, right? Build stage and as well as a deploy stage. So basically this pipeline will do two tasks, two stages. One is build and the other is deploy, right? So we'll be introducing a new kind of pipeline. You can see here one release now. So we will be leveraging on a release pipeline. Okay. So release pipeline is mainly a pipeline that will be concentrating on deployment of the that will mainly handle deploy stage. Okay. So we can create a pipeline to deploy and all. Here what happens, we use the YAML pipeline to do all the things, right? If you see here, we have two stages. See, two stages, no? One build stage as well as one deploy stage, right? So
Yes,
in the release pipeline, what we will do, right? In release pipeline, we'll be only concentrating on the second part, means the deployment pipeline. Okay.
Okay.
We will create a release pipeline. So that is related to deployment, how that deployment can be taken and all. Okay, we'll explore that. Okay. And later, once this is done, we will edit this pipeline. Okay.
Okay.
Let me start. Okay, so when it comes to release pipeline, actually, if you can see, it's a easy to, it's a automating process that that we are doing to automate the steps to how to deploy and all. Let me create a new pipeline. Rather than creating a YAML pipeline, here you will get a classic kind of UI so that you can easily manage. Okay, so here you get a prompt like what's your goal. Either we can go with an empty job, or we can select any of the featured template. Actually, we are planning to deploy an app service, right, in Azure. So we can go with this. It's basically an Azure app service deployment because we do have app services in place in our Azure portal. So let me apply this. Okay, directly it's asking for the stage name. Stage name means, if you remember, we discussed about different stages. Stages in the sense,
Build stage, deployment stage,
yeah,
and release.
not that stage. Do you remember, like we discussed about dev environment,
Yeah,
testing environment, production
and
environment,
prod.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so today what we will do, right? That stages means development environment, UAT environment, production environment, like that. Okay, so today what we will be discussing is we will try to make it in different environments, means dev and prod. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we need a pipeline for dev environment as well as a production. Okay, that's how the real, yeah, there will be multiple stages as well, but for now, to understand the concept, we will be leveraging it to, we will be looking with the help of two stages. Okay, two environments. So here,
Okay.
the first environment that I am looking into is dev. Okay, dev. I'll take it as dev deployment. Okay, so this is basically the naming of that, nothing else. So let me close it. And here, there are a lot of things that we need to understand. Okay. See here, there is an option to select an artifact. So we can select an artifact. Before that, you can see there are some conditions. See, pre-deployment conditions as well as post-deployment conditions. If you click on pre-deployment conditions, it is basically what are conditions this step needs to accomplish before the deployment. Okay, before the deployment is started. If you click on these conditions, you can see, okay, we need to select a trigger. Actually, we can select whether it is by manual. Okay, we can just click approve or something like that. So it will be completely manual. And for the after release means once an artifact is released or exported, this pipeline will trigger. Did you get that? So we can configure the trigger. Either we can do it manually, or we can configure once that once the build pipeline is run, an artifact will be published, right? So once that
Okay.
artifact is published, this stage can start, which means this task can start. So here
Okay,
we
sir.
can put it as after release, which means whenever a new release is there, then it can
Trigger
trigger,
it.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And there is another thing. See, pre-deployment approval. It is these kind of approvals. It is mainly, for example, if there are in an organization, there will be engineers in different level, and this kind of approvals will be mainly taken care on production kind of workloads. So currently we are working on development environment, right? So we don't need to think about a pre-deployment approval, but we will take it in the production level. Okay. When we are working, when we are creating production stage, then at that time we will take it. Okay.
Okay.
And gate. Actually, gate is something like it is like we can evaluate the current code and all, or we can say we can do some quality checks kind of thing. Okay, they need to satisfy some kind of compliances, which means whether we need to have some kind of policies in place that we need to validate before deployment, or maybe we can call some APIs. A lot of things that we can do with the help of gates. Basically, gates is for uh, some kind of evaluation. Okay, quality checks kind of thing that we can mention, that we can take. So with the help of
So
gates.
so are they all just the futures, sir?
No, here quality gates we are enabling. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Here which means the delay before evaluation. So it will take 5 minutes. I'll do one thing. I'll make it as 2 minutes because we don't have much time in place. So I'll put it as 2 minutes. And I need to add what kind of gate I need to add. So if I click add, here you can see policy, a function, or a REST API, or some kind of query of any kind of what any alerts that we have getting, or there are some options for query work items. Query work items is something like if we have any work items in place, means some task that we need to perform, then that comes under query work items. It is already there, like it is inbuilt in this Azure DevOps. Okay, so now what we will do, right? We will be leveraging on query work item. Okay, so this is for just to understand how it is working. Okay, so I'm selecting query work item. See here, we can select what a query. Here, shared query. We don't have any query in place. We need to create a shared query. For now, we will be creating that. For that purpose, I'm creating a new tab. Okay. For creating a query, what we need to do is actually we need to, first of all, we need to create a work item. Okay. So first of all, I need to create a task. What kind of task that we are performing. So here, what I'm doing is I'll make it as gate. Gate. Gate what? Gate quality check. Okay.
So, sir, what's the actual use of creating this release pipeline?
Yeah, this is for actually what we will not use much actually. This is basically what kind of task that we have. Okay, which means here we are creating a task because deployment gates is something like checking some evaluations. Okay, okay, what kind of how it can be taken care, like that, means it needs to be performed as a quality check. That's it. Which means
Okay.
we can leverage on some kind of policy. They can check, okay, if we have a deployment upcoming, they can check, okay, what kind of is there any policy violation, or is there any issues with the standards that that organization is following, like that. Okay.
Okay.
Here what we are doing is Azure boards mainly help us to create tasks and all to track the project. Okay. So here what we will do is, here what we are doing is we are creating a task. Task for what? Just for we need to. So what we'll do, once this gate is performed, it will check, is there any work item, okay, which is we will assign that. Okay, let's see, I'll show that. So here I'm creating a gate quality check. We need to perform a gate quality check. Okay, or I can mention quality gate check. Quality gate check, and I'll mention task to do. Okay, and I'll and what I'll do, I'll to do save. Okay, I'll make it as doing. Okay, and I'll go to queries. Queries is basically to check what actually what something is there or not, like that check kind of check. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I'll check what priority. Okay, I know to prioritize it. So I am checking. Actually, you don't need to do this. Actually, this is to understand how that gate is working. That's it. Okay, so I'm bringing some task that gate actually.
Okay.
State priority one task. I put it in shared queries because we can see shared queries only here. So that's why I'm putting under shared queries. Okay. Now I'm changing this priority to replicate it in, because I selected priority one now. So query event task results charts. Yeah, now I can see one result. Let me create one chart. Pattern type. Okay, so which means one task I need to perform. That's it. Okay, there is one task as associated to this work item. This work item is okay. It is quality check. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So why I created this is to integrate it with this pre-deployment condition to enable gates. Actually, that's it. Let me try to refresh it. Otherwise, it will not take. So pre-deployment gate. Okay, gates. I'll add this query work item, shared query. Okay, it not came. So let me refresh this page. Azure App Service deployment, dev deployment. Gates. I'll put as 2 minutes. I'll add a work item. Shared queries. You can see P1 task, right? Priority one task. That is what P1 task. Okay,
Yeah, we
so
just created the task.
just we need a shared query. That's it. Okay, that's why I put it out there. And then we just upper threshold. Okay, I'll put 2. So actually, what it means is the maximum number of matching work items from the query. Okay, so we maximum 2 we can put, and minimum we can put it as 0. So yeah, it is lower threshold is 0. Okay, that's fine. Now evaluation option, a time between evaluation of gates. Okay, means basically what happens, right? It will check 2 times. Okay, the evaluation will happen in 2 times. Okay, so what I can check is I will put it as 3 minutes. Otherwise, like it will be okay. I need to put 5 minutes. Okay, I'll put 5 minutes. Let it be so that it will check after 5 minutes. Otherwise, it will take 15 minutes. Okay, 2 checks will be there. So after 1 checks, it will take another 5 minutes and it will check for the second time. Like that. That's what this gate is doing. Basically, it's a quality check kind of thing. Okay.
So, sir, are we always going to enable the gates?
Sometimes the organization may require that kind of setup, but that's there will not be like sometimes they need, otherwise they will not use. Okay. Yeah, release pipelines is like here we are using click and click like this. It's a UI kind of thing mainly. So we can't like leverage this with the help of a YAML file. Okay. So we can create release pipelines here only with this classic editor. We can't use YAML. So most of the organization will not use release pipelines. They will use directly with the help of YAML file, and they will not come to this. But if it is needed in some organization, they will leverage to release pipeline because they can check the quality or they can evaluate, and there may be some deployment approval that we need to take. Like in that kind of scenarios, actually we need a release pipeline. That's why we are exploring this. Got it?
So, sir, is it like after, as you told, like, means, this release pipeline is generally not, mostly using. But let's say like after we create like build and deploy pipeline, so is it gonna be like the next step? The release pipeline is gonna be the next step if we have any like requirement. Like if the company said that hey, we have to go with the release pipeline, then
Yeah, yeah, in companies, what happens is there may be some already there may be some practices that they are following. Okay, so some companies only leverages on YAML pipelines. So in that case, you don't need to look into release pipelines at all because we already created a YAML pipelines in the last session, and that's enough. Okay,
okay.
you can add steps, and you can include more steps if needed. Okay, if there are any new task that we need to perform, we can add a task and then we can finish it off. In some
Okay.
organizations, they may follow something like, okay, before a deployment, they need to check. We are already aligning to the policies. We are complaining to the policies. Okay, you want to check. So that kind
Okay.
of checking and all can be performed with the help of gates. Okay.
Okay.
Currently, we don't have any policies in place. That's why I took query I work items as an example. But you can also make equality gates with the help of any like security perspective, means any security policies or something, or you need to evaluate with the help of some kind of Azure functions. A lot of things that we can do.
Okay.
Basically, it's an evaluation process. That's it. So if an organization is following some kind of evaluations before deployment, then you can leverage it with the help of release pipeline. That's it. Got it?
Okay. So sir, in this project, like the project we have choose, in this the pipeline wasn't I mean built up, right? I mean the pipeline was under process, right?
Sorry, can you repeat the question once again?
So I mean the project we are in, the YouTube clone or something.
Yeah.
So I mean the pipelines aren't created, right? I mean they are not created yet, right? They are under process. They are under deployment, right?
Yeah, because the code is not taken from like we are not concerning about the code and all. We are only concerned about how that will be deployed. That's it. So
Okay.
pipelines we can create in different ways. One way is like create a YAML pipeline. We already created with the help of YAML pipeline, and we mentioned two stages in that. Now what we are thinking is we will leverage that with the help of a release pipeline. Let's see how it goes. That's it.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Because
Got it.
uh, in different projects there may be different aspects, different approaches as well. So with the help of one project we can try it out different aspects.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Oh yes. So we just select it. Okay, then let it be. And also there is an option to queue, which means if we have multiple stages and we are mentioning we need to run multiple deployments, that's also possible. We can change the number and it will be taken care. Also, there is an option like deploy in all sequence and all. We can configure that. For now, it is not needed, but in some cases that may be needed. Okay. And some scenarios they needed, then we can leverage on that. Here we don't need that, so we are not. We will leave it as by default. Okay. Then okay, stages. Here we have to add an artifact that we will add later. So first of all, we will cover this part, and then once this pre-deployment completion is done, next things that we need to configure is what all tasks they need to do in this stage. Okay. Issue actually, because we need to create a pipeline and we need to mention the job and task directly. Otherwise, it will be like first of all we need to mention the job and task. Okay, so I'm uh, going to this. Okay, otherwise like we will get a white screen. So if I click here, I'm getting this. Otherwise, we will not get that. We will get white screen. Okay, I don't know why
Okay.
it was, but it is something like that. So in this what here what we are just describing what all task we need to do. Okay, stage name is development deployment. Subscription is I do have one test SP. That's what my subscription is. I do have a test SP here. In the other project, it was Visual Studio, some kind of thing, but both are similar. Only the naming is different. Okay, and app type is web app on Linux, right? Linux. App service name, which app service we are leveraging on?
Guruschools.
Guruschools, right?
Yes, sir.
Guruschools. Okay, so that's fine. Then the next step, what here is okay, run on agent. The agent is Azure pipelines. We are running on Azure pipelines, and we need to mention the agent. We are using Ubuntu latest, right?
Yes, sir.
Ubuntu latest, and yes. Okay, I think it's on here. Yeah, we can mention if there any kind of timeouts or something is there, we can mention it here. And deploy app service here. Deploy app service around SAPI Guruschools. Here we have one option called deploy to slot that we discussed in the last session. Slot means we will have a identical. We will have two copies. Here we
Yeah.
have one copy of Guruschools. So similarly, we will have an identical copy of this this app service. Okay, that's what deploy to slot means. So we will get exactly 2 copies, and on 1 copy we can do our deployment. If I click on this, it will show what resource group we have. Okay, RG test 001 slot protection. Okay, here we don't have any protection, any slot available here. So for that, to create a slot, we need to go to app service. Okay, let's see what is a slot. Okay,
Okay.
so 1 second. See deployment slots. Here we don't have any slot, so I'll add a slot. Okay, and I'll mention it as staging. Okay, staging, 1 slot called staging, which means I'm adding another.
Slot in the sense the replicas, right?
Yeah, replica. Yes, exactly. So if you see here, Guruschools hyphen staging dot Azure websites.net, we are getting another DNS.
Okay.
Okay. Earlier it was actually we don't have any staging here. Okay, this is coming new.
So, sir, are we going to create slots only in the release pipeline, right? Or I mean,
No. This is an app service. We need to create a slot in app service. Yeah.
App service.
Yeah. Okay. So before creating a slot, actually it will have only 1 slot. There is no slot or something. Only 1 replica is there. So we can't think about any kind of things and all. Here what we are doing is we will be creating a slot and we are naming it as staging. Okay. So that we will get 1 replica. We get that?
Okay. Yes, sir.
And
if you work on the website, so again the customers can use it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm cloning it from the existing Guruschools, that app service itself, and I'm adding. See, it's created staging, right? Staging, it is created. And see, currently the traffic, every traffic is hitting to 100% to Guruschools. Production 1, which means the first one. Here we have 2 versions now. Do you get that?
Yeah. So is it like a 2 replicas or 1?
Yeah, 2 means this is the original one and this is the replica.
Okay.
Which means we have 2 copies. That's it.
2 copies. Okay.
I can show you with the help of a diagram so that you like this. Okay, so we will call it as a blue-green deployment. Okay, blue-green deployment.
Okay.
Okay, so here what we have 2 copies, right? Exactly 2 copies. Once what happens when release pipeline is deployed, then the application become 2.0. Okay, so firstly we will be deploying it to green. And we can swap it, so the users will not face any issues. From their side, they will be able to access. That's it. That's why we are keeping 2 replicas. We will update 1 replica and we will swap.
Okay.
Okay.
So in this, the blue one is the original, right?
Actually, both are original, but one is like one is the production version, one is the other version. That's it.
Okay.
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 You got it?
Yes, sir, got it.
So we will have 2 versions. Then we will do a deployment on the green, and it will come some 2.0. And then what happens? We will change the app. So green, see here, blue app. Then that blue app comes to green app. Here, green app, and it comes to blue app. So the application swapped actually, and the version was same. See, the updated one was this, and the older one was this. Got it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The idea is to avoid service exceptions to the customers.
Okay.
So yeah, I have this in place. So let me take it once again. I think now it will came. Yeah, staging is here, no?
Staging.
So I'll select staging here because it is development stage. That's why. Okay. And package or folder I can select from where actually. Okay. Okay, I'll select this package and folder later. Okay.
Okay.
Let me save it for now. And I'll go to pipeline once again. Now I'm selecting that artifact. Click on artifact, and project is YT clone. It is YT clone itself, and default version. I'll take the latest one. Okay. So here what happens, once that artifact is published, we will use that as a trigger. We are consuming it. In that YAML pipeline, actually we are consuming it, right? In the first stage, build stage, actually that artifact is published. In the deploy stage, we are consuming that artifact, right?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
See, actually in the build pipeline, what we did, we published an artifact, right?
Yes.
So currently with the help of release pipeline, we are mainly doing this part. Okay.
With the release pipeline, right?
Yeah, this is deploy deploy stage, right? So what we will do, right? We are configuring this part. Once this is done, we will delete from this YAML file. Okay. So this YAML file will only perform build. It will not perform deploy. The deploy will be taken care by the release pipeline. Got it?
Okay. Because we were working on deploy and release.
Yes. So for that purpose, actually, we need that artifact, no? So that we are just selecting that artifact which is to be generated. So which version we need to mention? We can mention a lot of versions, but we need latest. That's the one that we need. So we will select that, and also there is an option to trigger. So whenever we can enable continuous deployment trigger, which means whenever a new artifact is released, what we can do, it will automatically trigger. Okay. So I just enabled that. And there is one option to schedule. This is like we can schedule like in a regular time, or in a particular date time we can like run this. That's also possible, but here we don't need that, but it's an option. Okay. We don't, scheduling is also possible, but we are not using that. If we need it, we can schedule it. That's it.
Okay. So what it will do, sir, in general?
Yeah, schedule means, for example, in some company, they are deploying the latest version on every Fridays. Let it be like that. Okay. Then that what
Okay.
they can do is they can trigger it on every Fridays. So they can uncheck all these days and they can put Fridays and they can just mention the time. So even they have a new artifact in place, this will be triggered on when every Fridays.
Friday. Okay. So
That kind
it
of
will recheck
scheduling
again.
that we can do.
Okay.
It is so it is like completely related to the practices that we are following in our organization.
Okay.
Okay. So this trigger is something like, okay, if we did an update in the code and it created a new the build pipeline run and it created a new artifact. Whenever a new artifact is released, that time it will be triggered. This
Okay.
artifact will be triggered. You get that?
Triggered. Okay. Yes, sir. It
Yeah.
will be
Once it is,
automatically triggered.
yeah, it will trigger and then it will start like go to these stages. When it is triggered,
Okay.
then it needs to go to these stages. Okay. Yeah, pre-deployment condition artifact. I will select artifact. After that artifact release, uh, I only need YT clone. I don't need any like others. Specify the branch. Actually, that's in main branch, so I selected main branch. And here we need to add
Yes.
gates. Gates actually 2 minutes I'll put. Query work item. Shade query P1 task. Upper threshold I will put 2. Advanced lower threshold. Okay, evaluation options. I'll put uh, instead of 5 minutes, I'll put 5 minutes. We don't need this. Okay, this is fine. And we already mentioned all things here now. I think we already, yeah, artifact automatically came from there. I think, yeah, this one we need to configure package or folder. In which folder it is available. So we can select that. We have this artifact in available, drop, select it. That's it. Because the
Okay.
artifact is generated on that folder, right? Drop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so staging. Okay, I think we are
So is
done.
this the same? Sorry, is it the same artifact which we were processing like on the last project, like in the
Yeah,
earlier
exactly.
sessions?
Currently, we are selecting that one, and once our pipeline runs, it will create another artifact, right?
Okay. Okay.
So whenever a new artifact is created, what happens? The pipeline will trigger because we are already configured that trigger, right?
Okay.
So yeah, this stage is done. Okay. So we just configured all things that we need. Now we will do one thing. We will add another stage for production. To add another stage, actually we can like click on this add stage and it will like we can do the same, repeat the task. Okay. So it will give a pictorial representation how it will work. But there is another option called clone. You can clone it because we already performed a lot of things. We already did some configurations, right? So we can clone it so that we will be able to get all those configurations. So this is for development, and I will clone it. So it will create another, and I'll rename it. I will rename it as prod deployment. Okay. So what happens when a artifact comes in? It will trigger. Once it is triggered, it will go to this, and it will check the pre-deployment conditions. Once it is satisfied, it will run the jobs and tasks and all. And once it is completed, here what happens next? What happens? We can go to the other environment. Here we have done dev environment. Now we are leveraging on production environment. Here also we can configure pre-deployment conditions. In this production, what we are getting? Okay, after stage. So once after this development, we need to run this. We don't need to directly run the production after this a new artifact is released. We need to perform production after the successful deployment of this development environment.
Okay.
You get that?
But in the last session, like, we only worked on the development, dev environment, right?
Yeah. In the last session, we only had a single deploy, and we don't have any kind of stages or something, right? Only deploy.
Yes.
We just deployed it, right?
Yes.
But here we can deploy it into different stages. Means
Okay.
we can deploy to development slot, also the production slot, like that.
Okay.
Okay. Also the gate is already enabled, so we don't need to like think about it, because I took a clone now, so we don't need to configure this again. It is already there in place.
Okay.
So that's also done. And let me check this. Post deployment protection testers we have. Okay, that's fine. Run on agent, Azure pipelines, that's also fine. Here we are so all are done. I'm just checking whether we have missed anything. I think everything is fine. So everything is there. Okay. Only thing is we need to name it. Okay. So clone YT clone, right? YT clone CD. CD means continuous deployment. Okay.
Okay.
So this release pipeline is for deployment. That's why we will call it as CD. Okay. Let me save it.
So is it gonna be for the both stages, like the dev and production?
Yeah. This is for in this app service, we will have 2 slots. So for that 2 slots, we have configured those kind of deployment. So what happens is, once the artifact is available, it will trigger, and once the development is deployed, it will it will check, and once development is deployed, then it will do the production deployment. If this is failed, it will not go for production. Okay,
Okay.
got it.
It's recorded.
Okay, so now what we need to do is, okay,
So, sir, the name you just put the YouTube clone the name. So, is it like the release pipeline name?
yeah, basically we will mention the project name or the task name. That's it. We will
Okay.
mention CD because it says we can we can follow different kind of naming conventions, but we need to mention it's CD. Okay, because it is for deployment.
Okay.
Okay, so that is fine. Then now let's go to pipelines. Here what we have, now we have two stages, no? So let me edit it and I will comment it out. Okay. Because here I'll only perform build only. Okay.
Build stage, yeah.
Okay. So only one stage, one job is here. Build job is here, and the deployment will be taken care by the release pipeline. Got it?
Okay.
So this pipeline came to us an integration pipeline only because we are only integrating the things. The deployment is taken care by the release pipeline. So
Okay.
let me validate and save. Once I click save now, a commit is happening. A commit is happening, which means a change in code happened, right?
Yes.
Once that change in code happened, what happens? That pipeline, CI pipeline, means the build pipeline will automatically trigger. See, let's go to the pipeline. See, automatically it triggered the CI pipeline. We can see only one stage is available here, right?
Yes, sir.
And in release pipeline, we don't have any deployments in place. Actually, we do have some configuration in place, but no releases created yet.
Yes.
So let me go to the pipelines. It's running. Build is processing. See what happened earlier. It was like two stages, but now it's only having one stage.
One stage.
So the deployment will be taken care by the release pipeline. And yeah, let's see what's happening over here. Okay, that is processing. Let it run. Meanwhile, I'll show you what we did. Okay, so this is a journey actually. Let it run. Okay, let it run. Okay, it is completed. See, that build is completed. Let's go to releases. See, one release is automatically created
Okay.
because we mentioned that what we have one trigger now. Whenever we
Yes.
have a new what artifact, just create one release. So now it is creating. See, if you go here, you can see that evaluation is happening. Okay, query work item is failed. What happened? So work category, check the number of items of brand Microsoft. Okay. Here what happens was it doesn't have access to this query work item. Okay. This release pipelines, this build service need access to that work item.
Okay.
Okay. So for that purpose, let me take it. Okay. P1 task. Okay. I need to give access. So P1 task, security. I need to search for my clone YT. Yeah, this build service we need access to this query. Then only that will work. Okay.
Okay.
So let me give it, and we need this as well. Yes.
So what is it, sir? The YT clone? Is it a project?
No, this is a service. Actually, that build service need access to this query. That's then
Okay.
only it will understand. Okay, it is there. Otherwise, it can't read. No, we are giving some permissions. Read permission we are giving. No.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now it have that access security. Okay, it is having YT clone build us access to this. No issues. Well, let me go to releases once again. Let me check it. Okay, it will check in next 3 minutes. Okay.
So, sir, basically, are we going to get the requirement like create the release pipeline or just create the normal pipeline and all?
Oh, sorry, can you repeat that once again?
No, I mean, I was just concerned like on the job side, are we going to get the requirements like create the release pipeline or create the build pipeline and all?
Yeah, we will get means sometimes they will have mostly they will have all those configuration piece. Sometimes we get a request like they are planning to deploy a new resource or something. Then we will get we will create a new. Otherwise, there it will be already there
Okay.
because mostly the work is to manage all those things. If they have some updations or something, we need to integrate that kind of things that we need to take.
Okay.
Otherwise, like it's been mostly managing all because in an organization, if we are in a project, we are not always like deploying. Okay, there may be some services deployed. We need to manage that. Sometimes they are bringing new things. At that time, we need to deploy. Sometimes some kind of updates we need to run. So different kind of task we need to do actually. But we need to
Okay.
understand these all things are available in this. That's one.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm? And just try it out after my the you get that recording. Okay. Otherwise, like see,
Yes,
you
sir,
can
definitely.
see you see now. See, it was
Yes, clear enough.
success because it doesn't have that permission. That's why it failed. Now you
Okay.
can
Okay.
see the initializing job, downloading artifact, deployed to app service. See, it is happening now.
Yes, sir.
Here we can see green, which means pre-deployment gates are succeeded. Like this, we can configure if we have like our organization have some kind of policies is there, then we can like in the check that whether we are aligning with the policies or we are violating it or something kind of things that we can check with the help of that also.
Okay. So now the development is going on. I mean, the
Yeah,
development
see,
environment is
yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah. We can check it out. We can check it out. See, staging one, browse. See, now this is up, right? Guruschools staging. This is what happened. This is succeeded.
Development.
That's why it
Yes.
is available. See, Guruschools staging, right? See,
Yes, sir.
and the other is actually happening. It is processing gates. Again, it is checking. Okay, next 5 minutes it will check. This is basically what a quality check kind of thing, evaluation kind of thing. That's it.
Okay.
So, for example, in an interview, you may get a question: what's the deployment gate? So that you can mention, okay, it's a kind of evaluation process that we are performing while we are doing some releases. Whether the organization has some security concerns, security policies not to be aligned, or maybe we can incorporate, we can check with some kind of APIs and all, or we need to align with some query work items or like that we can mention. So idea is to express or give a what emotion to the interviewer, like, okay, you know that actually you already worked on that, like that.
Okay.
And I'm sure that not everyone is doing everything. Okay, in my organization there will be different tasks. Even if I'm switching to another organization, there will be different tasks over there. But what the interviewer and the team looking is, okay, if he worked on this, okay, then he can like learn it and work. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Then like that's how we get experience. Otherwise, like we can't learn all the things and we can work. We will take the knowledge, we will try it out, and then we will go for a job, and then from there we will get more experience. That's it.
Yes, sir. Right.
Let's wait for few minutes. Actually, I forgot to do one thing. One thing means, yeah, let it run. I'll show you with the help of the other project, non-YT. See in the release pipeline, no? The release pipeline, we can, yeah, this is the one that I did earlier. Okay. So here we can do one thing. We can see pre-deployment approval, right? Approval.
Yes.
You can see one pre-deployment approval, right? So we
Yes, sir.
can mention a pre-approval also. Here, no? Here we can mention one approval also, which means it will give, for example, if we are working on one organization and you configured it and you mention one pre-deployment approval and you mention my name over there, okay, then what will happen is once this development is completed and it is starting production, it will send me a mail showing, okay, this is triggered, kindly approve. If I approve it, then this production will work. Otherwise, it will not work.
Okay, like a permission.
Yeah, like a permission. Actually, I
So
forgot
how
to.
to audit, sir?
Yeah, it is there. It is there. I can show you. Edit pipeline. See here, we enabled gate, right? Same way we
Yes.
can enable pre-deployment this one, pre-deployment
Okay.
approval, and we can mention the approver name. That's it. And we can
Okay. Okay.
mention how many days. After 30 days, it will be timed out, or there are different kind of policies as well. For example, the user requesting a release or deployment should not approve it, which means if I am sending an approval, I am not the right guy to approve it, right? Because I'm sending out the approval and then I am also need to grant it. But for now we are testing, so that's fine. But we can configure, like we can impose the kind of policies as well. Identity, like revalidate identity, which means if we click it before approval, we need to validate our identity. Like it will ask for login or something like that, or skip approval if same approval is approved in previous stage. We will have multiple stage. If the previous stage is approved with one, then we can skip like that. Different kind of policies. We can enable that redeployment approval with the help of enabling this, and just mention the name of the users that we need to put as approvals. That's it.
But sir, whom should we send this approval to?
Sorry?
I mean, who should we send this approval to? Like our higher team?
Can you say it louder?
No, I was asking like who should we send this approval to?
Yeah, that's what I said. If you did this, okay, if you configure this, and I told, okay, you can do development deployment, no issues. But before doing a production deployment, okay, send me an approval. Okay, send me an approval request. So I may be like busy with some other task. Once development is completed and it is going to this, what will happen? It will have a pre-deployment approval, right?
Yes.
So I will get an email. I will get an email and it shows, okay, you need to approve this. Like that, I will get one email. So I can either approve from here or from that email. Okay, then only it will start. If we put multiple peoples also, we can think about it. Like we can we can mention what virtual usage we need to put as approvals and all.
Okay.
Because this is production. Okay. Before development, that's fine. We will not normally take any approvals and all. But before production, normally we used to take approvals.
Okay.
Okay. So if you see here, see staging also that have that kind of this thing, and also it is, yeah. This is staging and this is production, right? See, staging you can see, no? Staging and production. So two versions are available.
Okay, the two replicas which you created.
Two replicas, yeah, exactly. We only have one app service here, but we have two replicas here.
And so can you just show me like how are we accessing the websites?
Sorry?
Like how are we accessing those websites? Can you show me the link? Like where is the link available?
Yeah, this staging, right? Actually, for understanding, here we have two copies, right? Then now what we will do is we will swap it. Okay, we will swap the staging with the production. See what happens here. Developer. So the developer update the code, right? And it is available in Azure DevOps. From there, build and all those things happen, and the artifacts was published. And what happened? This CD pipeline means the deployment pipeline get the artifacts, and after the gates completed, it deployed to stage, right? So the stage will be deployed to the applications stage, right? Okay. And the production version will be deployed to the production, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Later what happens here, this will be 2.0, this will be 1.0. Okay.
Yes.
The updated one is here. Then what we will do, we will swap it. Okay. Do you get that? We will swap it, which means
Yes, sir.
this 2.0 will comes to here and this 1.0 will comes to here.
Yes.
Okay. So there will not be any service interruptions in between.
Okay. No, I was just asking like how to access those websites. Where is the link?
Yeah, how to access, right? Actually, see, the users don't need to access this. They will only have this, right? We don't have YouTube-staging.com, right? We only have youtube.com.
Yes.
They don't need to access this. Why we are using this is we are pushing the update to staging and swapping it to production.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we did the deployment. Now we need to swap. To swap, what we need to do? We need to go to deployment slots and we need to perform swap.
Swap. Okay.
If we swap it, it will ask, okay, the source is staging and the target will be production, which means from the staging, the update will goes to what?
Production.
Production. Then if we mention start swap, see, once this is happening, no service interruptions is happening, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And this will perform you know, so the swap will be performed and it will be taken care. Okay, I think it's completed. Yeah, swapping is completed. So the idea is the latest update and all things will be pushed to the staging first and then it will be swapped. So if you see here, what happens, see, version both will be 1.0, right? Both will be 1.0.
Yes.
Both will be 1.0 first and the first time. Then once the deployment happens, staging become what? 2.0, right?
Yes.
And the production is what? Already 1.0. Then the swap happens. Yes. Staging will, like, we will bring in production to 2.0. Again, what we can do? We can update stage and we can swap right there. So the production and this thing, the service will not be interrupted and the customers will not feel any kind of disruptions in between.
Okay.
That is what a blue-green deployment is. Okay. First of all, we will put it into green and then we will swap. So the updated one will happen to green first and then what happen? We will put the green to the other part. So the swap will happen like this.
Okay.
So this was the entire process that we did. Okay. Any questions on this?
No, sir, no questions.
So yeah, this is done. And if it, okay, let me show you one more thing. releases. Let me edit it. I'll add a pre-deployment condition as well. Okay, I'll mention my name itself. Okay, I added up myself as an approver and I'm saving it. Okay.
Okay.
So what it happens, right? And let me change something on the course. Let me, okay. I'm committing. That means an update is done, right?
Yes.
We are checking out. See, we can do it here. Also, we can do it in the VS Code. Okay, no issues.
Okay.
Commit can be taken care of from anywhere. Okay, so I just done that. So now what happens? The pipeline will trigger. Okay, build a pipeline will trigger. Okay, that is done. Releases. See, another release is triggered, right?
Yes, because we updated.
Yeah, updated. So the query work item is done. In next 5 minutes, it will check.
So every time we update, like a new release will form.
Sorry.
Like every time, like whenever we update something, like so the another release will appear, right?
Yeah. Whenever I update it in anything in the files repo, then the
A
pipeline
new
will
release.
trigger. Once the pipeline will trigger and it is completed and it generates one artifact, see, click on this, one artifact is published, right?
Yes.
Whenever an artifact is published, then the release pipeline will trigger. So everything is automated actually.
Okay.
So in next 4 minutes, it will be performed and once that is done, we'll see that process like that that option that we are getting. Let's wait for that. So today we discussed about that deployment and multi stages where we configured release pipelines for development environment as well as for the production environment. Also, what we had was we have triggers that we mentioned for artifacts. Also, we discussed about the pre-deployment conditions, deployment conditions as well. Also, we discussed about the deployment strategy, blue-green deployment strategy. And Also, the enabled deployment gates with the help of query work items. Also, we enabled the pre-deployment approvals. So basically, this will be an entire CICD process. Once a developer is updating the code to this repo, from there, build pipelines, which means the CI pipeline will start triggered and it will publish an artifact. The CD pipeline will get the artifact and it will consume it and it will check the quality gates. Then it will deploy to the stage and it will deploy to the production once the required pre-deployment conditions are met. So that's the entire things that we covered today. This is probably the next minutes. This will be taken care.
So it will just basically ask your approval, right?
Yeah, it will ask you. That's what I'm waiting. Otherwise, like we don't need to wait now because it's already the same task we did earlier. So
Yeah.
once this deployment is done, it will go to production deployment. Before production deployment starts, it will ask for approval.
Approval. Yes.
We can also configure approvals in this also here also, but normally for development environment we did not do that.
Yeah, we don't need for production. Yeah.
In production we have, and also in UAT also, or pre-production there will be lot of, in some organizations, mainly mainly what happens, right? There are mainly development. Okay, development will be there, UAT will be there, pre-prod will be there, prod will be there. Okay, mainly these are the four environments. The idea is like in development environment, every developers will be updating the code and all those stuffs. In here, there will be testing happening. Here actually it's just a stage before production. That's it. And the production is the final cut, final one.
Okay.
And in some organization, pre-prod will not be there. In some information like environment, only UAT and prod will be there, which means the dev activities also will be taken on UAT, or we can call it as dev only, or maybe you can see some test like that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Before we started, article download. The deployment is completed and it is asking for an approval, right?
Yes, sir.
I will
Yeah.
get a mail also. Okay. I will get a mail. Here from here I can approve. If I approve, okay, approve, and it will start validating the gates. And in next 5 minutes, it will happen. So this is okay. You got the idea, no?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Okay, so that's it actually for today, and we just finished that part. And in the next sessions, we'll be covering some more things. in some different things. Let me check what all things that we have for the next week. What about your availability, like except Wednesdays, will you be available?
Yeah, only on Wednesday I just need an off. But rather than Wednesday, like we can schedule any time,
Okay,
any day. So,
okay. So then no issues. Okay. So then we will be starting the other parts. Actually, we already completed. Let me take meanwhile.
so by this week, like I guess like 50% of the course is done, right?
Yeah. Actually, we already covered. See, I'm showing you this. See, we already what we did automated, right? CI/CD pipelines. We created repositories in Azure DevOps. We are
Yes.
right building deployment pipeline with the this now. So actually, till this we did actually.
Okay. Okay.
So now we have few things like monitoring, application insights, then Terraform, then some other things as well. We will create an application. Okay. So we already created. Actually, we only created an end-to-end CICD here. Okay, but we already created one. But we will do once again with the for Docker and Kubernetes as well. Okay.
Okay.
Here now we created with the app service. Now, actually, that is not mentioned here, but we covered it. At least you will get that idea now.
Yeah. So I'm guessing like by the end of not the end, but by the middle of the next month, I guess like we should be done with the course, right?
Yeah, actually, we are done more than half, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
Now
a
we will be
60% we done.
more. Yeah. Now we will be digging into mainly into that observability, then Terraform, and actually.
Okay. Sir, apart from this, can you just suggest me like the certifications which I should get it from the Azure, like the names of the certification? Like earlier, you told me about the AZ900, right?
Mm.
So apart from that, like, is there any like mandatory like certifications like which will need to come?
AZ900 should be that is a basic one. AZ900. So,
Fundamentals?
yeah, fundamental. So go for it first. I recommend that. Then only you need to go to others. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you, and also it will be pretty much confusing for you. Okay, don't go for everything. But take at least one certification.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, the production is also starting. So it's deploying. Okay.
Yeah. The only thing we waited for so long was the approval.
What?
I mean, we just waited for that long for the only for approval thing, right?
Yeah, the approval will not take that much time, but the
Yeah,
gates,
the
no,
process.
that deployment gates, that gates
Yeah,
makes like it takes some time
yeah.
because it will evaluate and there will be some time in between that also. So waiting time and all. That's why it is taking that much time.
Okay,
It only took 4 or 5 minutes. No, there are pipelines that will take 10 to 12 hours as well. Okay, that's it for today.
okay, sir. So are we having the session tomorrow, sir?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.